Hello and welcome to the August 2025 edition of our Global College Spotlight. Each month, we introduce you to an excellent university option outside the United States, where students can earn a full undergraduate or graduate degree entirely in English. This month, we are featuring St. Louis University Madrid, the Spanish campus of St. Louis University in St. Louis, Missouri. And as part of our ongoing exploration of liberal arts opportunities in Europe, SLU-Madrid, as the university is also called in short, offers students the best of both worlds. Live in Spain combined with the benefits of a fully accredited American bachelor's or master's degree. With its US-style liberal arts and sciences curriculum set in a lively, multicultural city, it's an inspiring choice for global-minded students. As always, today's Global College Spotlight is brought to you by Global College Advisors. And just in case you're new to our Global College Spotlights, I'm Cornelia Fortes, founder of Global College Advisors, and I'm excited to be your host today. So let's jump right in and meet our presenter, Heidi Buffington, who will introduce us to St. Louis University Madrid today. Heidi is the Director of Admissions and the Chief Strategic Enrollment Management Officer. She's originally from Pennsylvania, and she did one semester of study abroad in Spain, which led her to pursuing her master's degree in international relations in Madrid. At SLU Madrid, she has been in charge of study abroad, international student, undergraduate, and graduate recruiting, and she has been the director of at SLU Madrid since 2015. As a dedicated team leader and industry leader, she is also presenting around the world at many conferences and master classes. I'm so happy to have you here with us today, Heidi. I'll stop sharing my screen and we are ready for your presentation.
Thank you so much for the nice introduction. I appreciate it. I think when you study abroad, when you do something different and exciting, it just like changes your life. So that happened to me a little bit. I came to Madrid for one semester, and I just loved it. I ended up staying in the city. So
Yeah,
yeah,
you're the perfect example for for
yeah,
these students to go abroad. Was it
yeah.
initially hard for you to make the decision to go
I will
over
say
there for a longer time than to
no.
study abroad?
The initial decision to study abroad was I was excited by it, and it was just kind of it sparked joy, I guess if we can use that quote that's popular these days. I was
Yeah.
just really excited about it, so I just followed that excitement. Like, this sounds really interesting. I think I'd like to do that, and I did it. And then coming back for my master's degree, it was another thing of like, that I think I'd like to do that. That's something that's stirring in me, right? Like, this is a direction that I want to go in. And it was fairly easy to end up staying because then I found a job, and I love the city of Madrid. It's a really great place to be a student. There's a lot of fun that you can have here. I
Yeah.
think as we get into today, it is, like you had said, the best of both worlds studying at SLU Madrid because you don't have to speak Spanish. I mean, for me, that was a barrier in the beginning because where I studied was only in Spanish, but you can study in English and then also be in Spain and be working on your Spanish. You don't need to have Spanish to initially come, and it's an American US degree. So, well, we will move on from the welcome. I'm excited to share more. Obviously, we kind of did a little bit of an intro, but um, maybe we'll just start off with why Madrid. And often students ask, like, well, why should I study in Madrid? I think the number one reason, and I've already touched on it, it's just a really fun, student-centered, student-friendly city. We're the number one country for European study abroad students that come here. And then generally, we're always country number three in the list of study abroad sites or locations for American students. And that makes the city is very vibrant. It's very safe to live and walk around. You'll see more people out at midnight than you would see maybe at 2 o'clock. It's really hot right now. So it's a vibrant city, but it's also very safe. And I think that's important when we think about the world these days, and just general safety of walking in a major city. Um, you can see some other reasons there. Work on your Spanish. Here at the university, we teach everything in English, but really it's a great place to work on Spanish. You can come with zero level Spanish and work on all the way up through the graduate level of Spanish. And having Spanish later on will boost professional profile. So definitely a benefit there. And then talking about professional, we want to get you here and have you have an exciting university program, but we always want you to be thinking of what's after SLU-Madrid. And we have a career services office. Students will do internships with lots of companies here in Madrid. They'll do internships, they'll do practicums, and then we do run workshops and things like that. So we always want you to be thinking of like what's next and how can SLU and SLU-Madrid or the city of Madrid be helping you kind of get to that next step. So then the obvious question then is why SLU-Madrid? So we've convinced you that Madrid is a place you want to be. Why SLU-Madrid? Well, our current students, we always survey our students at the beginning of the year and see why they chose us. And this is what they said. So the number one reason is a diverse, inclusive community on campus. And that is not just skin color, for example. It's languages spoken, it's gender identity, clubs and sports and things that where you want to be yourself. So you can be who you want to be here on this campus. So that's why we have all of our different clubs. And here are some that are represented. Asian Culture Club, we have a Pride Club. Um, the the one at the bottom where it says different, not less, that's the Neurodivergent Club. Balkan Eastern European Culture Club, we have lots of different clubs. MENA is Middle East, Northern Africa. So we have a lot of students who have different, like I had mentioned before, gender identity, LGBTQ community is very strong here. So you can be who you want to be on our campus. Number two reason is global. We're international, the global learning experience. And that we demonstrate here a little bit with our faculty in the political science department. And you can see the countries that they represent. So Daniel Blanche is American and Spanish. Dr. Neville Lee is from Hong Kong. You have Laura Tedesco from Argentina. So there's just a variety of thoughts and backgrounds, and you get that in any of the majors that you study. And so that creates just diversity in your learning. You're not going to be learning from one perspective. So it's multiple perspectives. And the third is hands-on applied learning. So not only do you want to learn what it is to be a political scientist, but you'll actually get to practice it. We encourage our students to go out into the city of Madrid or other places to have that hands-on learning. Dance class, obviously you can get dance flamenco for credit. Some other examples, if you're studying marketing, this is at 4 a.m. These guys look a little more awake than they probably are, but we take students in our marketing channels and distributions class to the Merco Madrid, which is a huge wholesale market, and they see how things are distributed, fish and meats and cheeses and things. That's just one example. We have an oceanography class that goes down to the Mediterranean Sea for one of their lab components, and they do a beach cleanup as a giving back to the community. They learn about environmental issues down in southern Spain. So just some examples of hands-on to get you a little bit excited. Okay, so now an overview of SLU-Madrid. So you have the context. We have two campuses, and Cornelia, you've been to our Madrid campus. You've
I did,
recognized that
yeah.
building.
Yes, exactly. It's a beautiful campus, and we were able to look around and see that's the main campus that you see here, and then you have some nearby, right? For
Yep.
other majors.
Yeah. So we have so the building on the left is anything you can see, mostly anything you can see is our campus itself, except for this arch. If you know St. Louis, it's the famous arch over the Mississippi River. And then our campus in Madrid is a lot smaller, and I'll describe that in a minute. But we mimic this arch that we have on the St. Louis campus. We are a Jesuit Catholic university. And if you're not familiar with what that means, really we educate the whole person. So we want you to grow personally and professionally to make the world a better place, more just place. So Jesuits are very concerned with social justice, equality, academic excellence. They also work in healthcare. We don't do as much here on the Madrid campus, but academic excellence is really important. We hope that you get a high quality education, which you will, we know you will, because of the American accreditation and the courses accredited. But we also want you to think about yourselves beyond your academics. So these students here in the picture are part of the Boca Talk Club, and they make sandwiches and take them to homeless. And it's not just handing food and leaving, it's talking, Boca Talk. And so Sometimes for our students, it's practicing Spanish, so it's language learning. It's also empathizing with others, learning about the city of Madrid, and that's your community now living in the city of Madrid. So there's a lot of service and giving back to the community. We have free English lessons for anybody who wants to come here. And it's also, we see it as a way of obviously giving back, but it's education for yourself as well. So working with people who are not like you and being in contexts that are different for you too. So it's a lot of growth and learning there. Um, and then a third component that we embrace a lot is self-reflection. So I should say, and I didn't say this before, we are a Catholic university. We are accepting and welcoming of students of all faiths and non-faiths. So students coming from many parts of the world who are practicing Muslims or Jewish students or even agnostic or atheist students. This is a place for you to grow as a person, whatever that means for you. And so self-reflection is really important and it's built into our classes. So a lot of the questions that are prompted are, who was I at the beginning of this class and who am I now? And what did I learn based on the course subject matter, but also who are my professors, who are my classmates, because you might be the only American. I have taken several classes here where I was the only American. One of them was a Chinese class. And so I was the only one saying, I am American. When you go through and you say, where are you from? And, so it's really interesting to then be kind of a representative of your own culture to the rest of your class. So we often ask these questions of students, like, who do you want to be and how can we help you get there? And we hope that we have what you need to help you get there. And we think we do for the majority of students studying a wide variety of majors. So, maybe I'll talk a little bit about the academic rankings and awards that the university has, which is the same for both campuses. And you can see we're in the top 105, number 105 national universities out of thousands of universities in the US. And then you look on the right, you see top programs. So number 17, you can see these are undergraduate programs, international business, entrepreneurship. Those are within the business program. You can also see finance as number 44. These are really high rankings. The others are graduate programs, and our graduate school in St. Louis is quite large as well. So you can see the academic quality is there, and you'll definitely have that here in Madrid as well. And then we have other two kind of categories of awards. One is community. So community service, we're ranked number 3. And I'd mentioned Boca Talk already, but out of all of the universities in the US, St. Louis University is ranked number 3. That's very high. So we pride ourselves on giving back, helping others. It's that social justice component of the university. And then the last one, very important, is value. And we always talk about affording your, education. We're ranked 46 of best value colleges in the US News and World Report. And then we like to say that we're a little bit more affordable possibly than our main campus in the US. Our tuition is about half the cost. And we'll get to that a little bit in the end. But right now we're about 27,000 euros a year, which is generally lower than most comparable universities in the US offering the same sort of private, high quality degree. So we'll get into that a little bit more later. But for now, Cornelia, do you know what the Billiken is? This is our mascot. Did you?
Exactly, I remember. It was everywhere.
Well, the Billiken is the mascot, and actually the Billiken, if you Google it, for anybody who's curious watching the webinar, he's a good luck charm. He was a good luck figurine back in the early 1900s. So if you were going to college or if you're changing homes, sometimes you'd be given a little Billiken figurine, and he represents the way things ought to be. So good luck. We have a statue in St. Louis where you rub his belly before exams, and students go over there and do that. In Madrid, we like to call ourselves Billiqueños. So kind of adding that Madrileño as somebody from Madrid with Billiken, Billiqueño.
Cute. I like
Yeah.
that.
So some of the fast facts here. I didn't mention before, but we were the first branch campus of a U.S. university in Europe back in 1967. So we're kind of leaders in that education abroad, having a second campus or a branch campus. Cornelia, you said right at the beginning, you can study completely in English here. Obviously, if you're studying a language class or you're studying to be a Spanish major, you're going to study in Spanish, but majority in English. US accredited, the Higher Learning Commission. This is very important to know about a university's accreditation. We are regionally accredited in the HLC, very important. And then some facts about the campus. We're almost at 1,400 students. And that's really exciting because we've been growing quite a bit. We have students from the US and around the world, 65 different nationalities. And as we grow, we're adding more degree programs every year. Right now we have 22 plus the graduate programs and classes. We're trying to keep them small. So that's really important to have contact with faculty and other staff members. So maybe to summarize the overview of our campus and our university, why you might consider studying here. Well, we're the same SLU degree. It's US accredited, but you get to study in Madrid. Smaller classes, much more international. So that's that American experience, but in a global context. The cost, we're about half the cost of other comparable US universities. And you do get a true US campus experience in Europe. It's not just a one semester study abroad. You can really be here and live here for 4 years. And then I think maybe it goes without say, but living in the city of Madrid, you're going to hopefully get some Spanish under your belt, get more language fluency. You're going to be in a wonderful, amazing, vibrant city like the city of Madrid. And then you'll get to do some sort of, hopefully, if you seek that out, some hands-on experience in the city of Madrid, which in the end, when it comes to getting a job, this is going to set you up much better. When I always think of when I review applications and resumes for jobs, I look for the people that stand out, who've done something that helps them kind of raise their credentials. And I think doing a degree outside of your home country, it definitely sets you ahead of maybe your peers when you go to apply for a job. So yeah. Any questions? Cornelia, do you have any questions at this point? Or
Well, maybe you want to mention, or maybe I overheard, I didn't hear it correctly, when you said, okay, so you have 22 degrees that are fully in, that you can study fully in Madrid, right? But then I think
yes,
there's the other option, right? That they can start out their degree in Madrid and then finish specific degrees
yes,
in the US, right?
yes,
Because
exactly,
that might be
exactly. Yeah.
interesting to some students too.
Sure. It's coming up after we talk about our
Oh,
students, I
sorry.
believe. But
Okay.
yeah, no, that's okay. Yeah, there are 22 degrees. The 22 they can complete fully in Madrid. So there's
Exactly.
actually 40 some programs
Hmm.
that can be started here.
So
There are
lots of
some that need to
options.
be finished in the US. Yeah,
Yeah.
lots of options. Yeah. So let's talk a little bit about our students to see, like, are you thinking about maybe studying here? This is Kyle. He is a student who works in our office. He's a student worker. And he basically said SLU Madrid had all the programs he was looking for, but with an international context. This is the breakdown of our fall 2024 class. So 56% were from the US. Some of those students from the US hold multiple passports, and we can only count the one passport. So it's probably a little more diverse than what this looks like here. 36% from other countries. Again, a lot of our students there's like 22% of our students have two passports. So you might be one of those. If you're watching, you would fit in here. 77% of students enrolled do get some form of merit-based scholarship, so that helps financially. And just to give you a breakdown of high schools, so we are a Catholic university, but I was curious to see how many students are coming from maybe Catholic high schools, and it's not as many as you might think for us being a Catholic university. 67% are coming from public schools within the US, and then outside the US, private schools, 74%. So just out of curiosity, we have students coming from all over the world, again, from many different backgrounds. Okay, now getting into academics.
Okay.
So these are the 4-year degree programs that can be completed fully in Madrid under the majors. And then we also have minors, which are programs that can be added on, and master's programs at the bottom in political science and then in Spanish. Now, I always tell students when I talk about this slide, you don't need to choose one specific major. We're an American liberal arts university. Cornelia, I'm sure you talk to students about this and parents. You can choose multiple programs. Like, I often think of it as like a buffet. If you go to a restaurant and a buffet, you don't just choose one. You don't just eat, mashed potatoes. You normally would do like a meat, a mashed potatoes, and a vegetable. Like, you can combine programs together. We think it makes you more stronger in whatever program or programs that you study. So if you're interested in marketing, studying psychology at the same time will help you be a stronger marketer because you'll be thinking about what is this person thinking and feeling. Um, Another great combination, maybe biology and art history or art, because you might end up. I had a friend who became an illustrator at a biology textbook because he was an art major. So there's lots of combinations that you might not think right off the bat would go together. You can explore. Sometimes I say you can explore one of your interests. You can explore one of the things that maybe your family is excited for you to study. You can best of both worlds there too. Um, as we had said before, there are programs that will need to be finished in St. Louis. So some, you can start these here. You can do up to 2 years. For example, aerospace engineering, we just don't have the facilities in Madrid for you to be able to complete that program, but you can go to our campus in St. Louis to do that. The thing that will change will be your tuition point. So the tuition is more in the US. Your scholarship, if you have a scholarship, the percentage of the scholarship would go with you. So you will receive more amount of scholarship, which would be the equivalent of the St. Louis campus, if that makes sense. So these options are here. Um, if you're studying any of these majors, I just went back a slide. If you're studying any of these, you can always go to St. Louis really at any point. So once you're admitted to SLU, you can be a student at either campus. You have to have a minimum GPA, but there's flexibility. If you were a marketing major and you wanted to go for a semester, we actually have a special scholarship for that. So you would pay the Madrid tuition rate and not the St. Louis tuition rate. So there's flexibility within our programs. And then we want to support you. We know living abroad, being abroad, changing countries, even if you're from within Spain, moving to an American university can be challenging, but we have tutors, we have academic advisors, we have disability resources if you need extra time for exams or just need assistance or a quiet room or things like that. We have that support. We have health support as well in that middle column. Sanitas is private health insurance that every student gets. There's an English-speaking doctor who studied in Texas. There's a very, very small Spanish accent. You can almost hardly tell he's Spanish, but there's that support as well. And then just general life and other things. We have a counseling center. We know it's stressful. We know people might be doing therapy at home and want to continue that therapy. We have a company that we work with called Sinews. We often here on campus will do kind of initial or help students if they're feeling homesick or whatever, initial kind of triage sessions. And if you need more therapy, we do have an English speaking therapist who is off campus, and we can point you in that direction. But 24-hour emergency phone if you lose something or you're locked out of your dorm or apartment. And then we also have a 24-hour mental health phone, and that's connected with the outside counseling. So we're here to support you across the board. We know it's a big adventure to move abroad. And then also, if you want to continue studying abroad while you're here, we have agreements with obviously our main campus, St. Louis University. Like I mentioned before, you can do one semester there and still continue to pay the Madrid tuition rate, but you can also go to Vesalius College in Belgium. You could go to John Cabot University in Rome, South Korea, many other universities. There's the option to do a second kind of while you're studying abroad, go abroad again.
And Heidi, one question, does the
Yeah.
tuition change then? If they choose to go to Vesalius College in Brussels, for example, they
It
pay there?
does not. Yeah, with these, except for John Cabot, the tuition is the same Madrid tuition, and then John Cabot, it's very similar. Their tuition's very
Okay.
similar, but yeah, we have an
Okay.
exchange. We have a study abroad agreement and not just an
Hmm.
exchange agreement.
Okay, great. Thank you.
Yeah. All right. And like I said kind of before, we want you to be thinking about your professional life after. So even from the first semester, people are always like, why do I need to meet with career services? I'm just a freshman. You get your CV and your resume up and running if you don't have that already. Getting LinkedIn. I always say to students and anybody watching this webinar, if you don't have LinkedIn, get LinkedIn because anybody can help recommend you for university, a summer job, things like that. Whenever our students do webinars with us, I always say, hey, if you're on LinkedIn, I'll give you a shout out. Like, if we had a student panel. So getting on LinkedIn is really important. Our career services office will explain how to do that, best practices. Prepare for an interview, even if you have a summer job interview. Going for, the interview workshop that our career services office does is really helpful. And you can see some of the experiences on campus there that we have a counseling center, like I said, career counseling. There's a course where you get credit. So in your junior and senior year, you actually get credit for posting on LinkedIn. So it's not only do you get it, if you start posting, you get credit for that. We bring back a lot of alumni to talk about getting jobs and bring in professional speakers. So lots going on here in that area. And then we kind of want you in that second column on the right, we want you to have kind of one foot out the door, even though you're still on campus. So doing an internship. Our psychology students will do practica, nursing clinicals and things. So, we want to set you up for success when you graduate. And then comments we get from employers, they really say that they appreciate and they hire SLU-Madrid students because of that their global mindedness, that when they go to interview, they're talking more about experiences that show that they've kind of been out in the world more than other students. And I think that's because they've had classmates from 60 to 70 different countries around the world. One thing I didn't mention, all of our students do public speaking. So that's a requirement for graduation. Having the oral language skills, the written language skills as well. We get comments on that a lot. Yeah. And just a quick tour of campus. So Cornelia, you were here. I'm going to take a pause for a minute because actually I feel like I'm going to put the blind down. Um, let me put the blind down 1 second because
Yes, of
I know
course.
it's creeping in on me and it's blinding me a little bit. Hopefully that's a little bit better. But you've been to
Perfect.
campus. We'll give a little walk around by images a little bit here.
Oh, that's nice. Yeah.
Yeah. So here's our map and where we are. We have these 4 buildings, 1, 2, 3, 4. We soon will open 5, which is right down here in just a month or so in September. We're located in the Guzman and Bueno part of the city. So if anybody's been to Madrid, we're on that circular metro line. Easy to get around. We're a nice little neighborhood. For example, this is where I'm sitting right now. The sun is setting. I'm facing west, so this is why I'm getting this light on me, but that's okay. And I'm in the back of this building. This building has the admissions office, the human resources office, a lot of the faculty for business, computer labs, science labs downstairs. All of our buildings have great outdoor space to sit and meet with friends. And this building as well, this is just up the street. You can see kind of the back patio. If you can see my cursor, there's like a little food kiosk in the back to get coffee and snacks anytime, so you don't need to go to our other building. But in this building, there's lots of classrooms. There's the student life office, sports department. There's a bookstore. Um, and you'll get to see that when you come here. This is our biggest building, and this picture was in an image before. This is shaped like a big H. You can kind of see that a little bit there. You can see students with their easels. The art studio is in this building. We have a cafeteria. You can see all the tables and chairs out on that first floor. There's an auditorium. There's a library. The best views of Madrid are on this top of this roof. You can see the sunset. It's beautiful. So there's lots of space in this building for just hangout space. And of course here there's faculty offices as well. But and again, the arch mimics the arch that we have in St. Louis. So, and we even have, Cornelia, I don't know if you know, or if you saw it when you were here, we have a time capsule buried in
Oh, I
this
think I
building.
remember you were mentioning it. Yeah.
Yeah.
You want
It's
to
just,
say some of the details, what you guys, when you started it?
yeah. Yeah, we celebrated 50 years in Madrid. Actually, we're coming up onto 60 in just a few years, but 20 catch me off guard. In 1967 is when we opened. So we'll do the math, 2017, I believe, 50 years. St. Louis, don't quote me on that. I wasn't a math major.
Same
But
here,
our
so I'm
St.
not
Yeah,
commenting on this.
well, 50 years celebrated a little bit ago. St. Louis was celebrating an anniversary as well. I think it's 100 years for them. So again, don't quote me on that, but major anniversaries for both of our campuses. So in a time capsule, we put together images, little artifacts, little things from 2017, just put them in there. And it says it will be open, I think, in 50 years from now or something like 2067 or something. So, but it's on the ground, it's buried here. There's a little plaque commemorating. So we'll see, when it gets open, it'll be really fun to see stuff from 50 years before. So
Yeah. Times before we used AI, or at
yeah,
least in,
that's
yeah.
that's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we included paper photos just in case, a USB or something. Nobody
Hmm.
used those anymore. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
Um, So this is Manresa Hall. This is actually a long building. It's the bottom floors of a very large building, but in this building we have a lot of science labs and classroom space. We have a nursing lab you can see there on the left. We have mannequins that students work on. This is a program that you do the first 2 years and then you go to the US to finish. But also in this building we have a physics and electrical engineering lab. We also have a mechanical engineering lab. So definitely more of a kind of a science lab area downstairs, which is great because we are kind of known for our sciences. Okay, so then talking a little bit more about housing. That's really, then hopefully the light is not annoying for anybody watching
So
me. Um,
we are
talking
just
about
seeing your presentation, so we don't see your light. We are not.
very good, very good. Well, I'm watching me and I'm like, I see all these lights across my face, but yeah, everybody wants to know where to live in Madrid and what to do. We don't have, if you remember from the campus map, we don't have on-campus housing, but students live within the city, and this is what they really want to do. I think when we do our survey of our students, they always say they're really excited to be in a city and live kind of you know, urban life. And there really are three options that students can choose from. They can do whatever they want because there is no requirement. First is we organize host families, and a few students will do that. Not everybody, but students who really do want to work on their Spanish and live with a host family, that's definitely an option. Probably more of our study abroad students, more of our short 1 semester students will do that. Um, but we have off-campus residence halls that we recommend that are in the area and they're really comfortable. They do their laundry, there's a cafeteria, there's study rooms and things. And then students can get their own housing. And this students will generally do this in their second year. So once you've made friends, if you come here, once you've made friends, then you'll find a shared apartment. That's generally what most people do.
Is it pretty
In
hard
the
to
end,
find an apartment in Spain, or how,
not
like
really.
compared to other cities, right, that we hear
Com
in Europe, where it's really hard to.
Yeah, I know in the Netherlands it's really hard
Hmm.
right now. Generally no, and hopefully that doesn't change, but right now it seems that there's plenty of housing
Hmm.
for students. So yeah.
That's good to know. Thanks.
Yeah. Um, and then we want you to get involved. Obviously, academics are important, but we want you to be involved in something, whether it's club, a sports club or pickup games. We do a lot of volunteering, like I mentioned already. Um, like there's clubs, everything from kind of academic related clubs. There's non-academic clubs like Human Rights Club, or there's a gardening club that they actually produce produce and they sell it on campus. I love it. I made an omelet one weekend with the onions that came from the garden, and I made sure I messaged and took pictures, and they were like, it's really exciting that's kind of it's full circle. Like the work they did, they cared for the land, and then they produced vegetables and stuff. So we want you to find your passions also when you're here. So for logistics, how do you get here? How do you become a student here on campus? Well, we have our own application. We are also on the Common App. So if you're applying to other universities on the Common App, you can find us there. We have no additional essay. You have to do one essay, but no additional essay. There's no application fee. I should mention that as well. Um, you'll need to send official transcripts, and we look at students obviously all the way up through the end of their junior year. Depending when you apply, our application is open now for fall 26. So, anytime during your senior year, you can be applying. We look for English proficiency scores if you haven't studied for 4 years in the US or English education system. So studying fully in English for 4 years. So if you are from somewhere else, you've studied in different languages, you've only studied 2 or 3 years in English fully, we would ask for English proficiency. But if you've been in the US for 4 years, no problem. We are test optional. So number 4, you don't need to do an SAT or ACT. I say if you've taken one, send it. We will look at you in the best way, whatever gives you more either scholarship money or potential for admission, we'll look at you that way. So if you've taken one, send it. We look at everything all together. And if you're, you think you might be on the borderline for admission, or you want to stand out to show us who you are for the Rector Scholarship, which is a full tuition scholarship, we say book an interview. And that can definitely help us get to know you. It can also help you get to know us as well. And then other optional items, recommendation letters, and a CV or resume.
Heidi, real quick a
Questions?
question. So
Yeah.
for the US students, if they have AP classes, would they be able to get any credit for anything or
Yes.
okay.
Yeah, we do have on our website, if you're really curious, you can, look for credit for prior learning. And there's credits for AP exams. If anybody's doing the IB, we give credits for higher level IB classes as
Hmm.
well. So you can potentially move out of lower levels of those areas.
How about for European students or any other international students who don't follow the US curriculum, high school curriculum, right? So if someone
Hmm.
comes to you with A levels or the German Abitur or the Matura or anything like that, would they also get credit for anything or not really because they will need an AP
Yeah, they don't
course or
need an
something?
AP. We are working on other credits from other systems, but we
Hmm.
don't have that approval yet.
Oh, okay. All
So
right.
yeah,
Okay. That makes sense.
yeah, yeah. All right. So there are 2 points of entry, and this really depends on the English level, English proficiency level. One is a 1 semester bridge, so we hope it will be just for 1 semester. And we offer 2 language support classes. Really, you're already starting your degree. So both of these are your direct entry. You're entering for the program that you're studying. The bridge program might be more you would take fewer classes that involve a lot of reading. So generally what we see is you might need some support in writing. And then after that 1 semester, most students will then go directly into direct entry. Again, it won't lengthen your program, like it's built in. We've have it thought out that you'll be starting your program. But these are some of the TOEFL and IELTS minimums to give you an idea for entry. All right, and talking about tuition, so very important, investing. It's investing in your future. And again, our tuition is about half the cost of our U.S. campus or other comparable U.S. universities. So 27,000 euros a year, which is approximately 29,000 US dollars per year. Again, about 77% of students get merit scholarships, so that's free money. So those are scholarships that we give you that's a direct reduction of that cost. And there are scholarships ranging, you can see down there, up to 9,500 euros per year. So, you could have a merit scholarship and then you might get another scholarship. If you are currently studying at a Catholic or a Jesuit high school, you will automatically get 1,000 to 1,500 euros off of your tuition costs. So, and you can combine those scholarships together. Um, you can apply for federal financial aid, or if you have military benefits, you can always apply those as well. So all of this can be added. Another thing that you can also add is this departmental support scholarship. So you do need to apply for that. Anybody can apply, no matter what your GPA is. That can be added on as well to merit scholarships. So that's about 500 euros a semester, and it's working experience on campus. We don't say work because of legal implications, but it's helping and supporting on campus. So you could be a campus tour guide, you could work in marketing. We try to get you into roles where you'll really be learning things. Um, and then the other scholarship is the Director's Scholarship, now also called the Rector Scholarship. We have a rector. The title changes, but it's a full tuition scholarship and you need to have a 3.85. We're also looking for leadership, social justice, leadership, people who kind of encompass those Jesuit values of social justice and helping others. And then you can see the costs of housing and other things there. Obviously, the residence hall is a little more expensive because it's a little more full service. So full cafeteria, they do cleaning, they clean your room, they do laundry, etc. So that's the cost per year, which is it was comparable to our US campus. Host family is a little more affordable. And then if you share an apartment, oh, not $5 per month. I just edited this slide today. It should say 500. No, not
Well,
five
that's a
euros per month.
deal. I'm
500.
gonna
This is to
move.
see if anybody's paying attention.
Yeah,
Well,
thanks for
shared
mentioning.
apartment, 500 per month, approximately 500 or 600 per month. Um, I will say the nice thing about our campus being smaller and being in Europe, we don't have that many extra fees. So I know a lot of time when students consider US universities, there's the gym fee and the clubs and activities fee and the orientation fee and all. What you see there, besides our confirmation fee, is 200 euros. The only other fee is a cafeteria fee to maintain. We have a full cafeteria functioning on campus. You get that money on a card, preloaded on a card, and students go through that money really quickly at the beginning of the semester. So um, the 2,000 euros for books and other, it's just an estimated fee. You don't always buy all your books, but we just put it in there just in case. And then private health insurance is included in the tuition cost. So there we go. So if you're interested in exploring on your own, you can look at our TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, you name it. Lots of ways. We have a way for you to chat with current students on our website. So yeah, don't take my word for it. Go chat with a current student and see there too. So yeah, I think that's it.
Perfect.
And we hope to see you in Madrid.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That was a
Yeah.
perfect presentation. And you covered so many parts that I had questions for. So I don't have a lot of extra questions except for two actually. So for the FAFSA, since you guys are a branch campus, um, is it possible to, so is it only covering the loans that students can bring to your campus, or can they actually also tap into any other FAFSA aid, for example?
Yeah,
Um,
they can use all FAFSA aid, any FAFSA aid. Um, the only thing we don't do is a work study, like the US government work
okay,
study
yeah.
program.
Hmm.
But anything, Parent Plus loans, Pell Grant,
That's all
anything.
possible. That's
Yep.
great to know because obviously that's not
Yes.
possible with other European schools often, right?
Yeah.
So
We
that's really.
because all
Mhm.
of our tuition, if you're a US citizen, you'll pay tuition to our St. Louis campus. So, and it's all of the financing is packaged and done through our St. Louis campus. So,
Yeah, perfect. So that's really good. And then
yep.
regarding the exchange programs, so you obviously highlighted already a couple of them that you have direct exchange programs. Are you part of the European Erasmus program as well? That
We are not.
Oh, okay.
No,
All right.
as a US accredited, we aren't able to participate. I wish we could, but we aren't.
Oh, okay. No, that's good to know. So basically, the campuses that they can do, the universities they can have exchange with in within Europe, or even I think you had one in Hong Kong also, right? Was that?
Yeah.
Uh-huh. So those are the universities that would
South
be.
Korea. Yeah.
Oh, South Korea. Sorry. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
forgot which
exactly.
one.
And then John Cabot is is a study abroad program, and they
Uh-huh.
apply directly there, but they also have a tuition reduction. So it's as if it were almost like an exchange program.
Yeah, exactly. Perfect. Yeah, no, there's lots of options obviously
It's a
available.
great opportunity. I mean, people are like, "What? I can study abroad when I'm studying abroad?" Yeah,
Yes,
go
yes,
for
yes,
it.
exactly, right?
And all the
So
credits will transfer and fees are pretty much the same. So,
yeah, that's really ideal. So yeah, thank you so much again, Heidi, for this great presentation and actually for taking the time to give us
yeah.
such an insightful introduction to SLU-Madrid and share all the exciting opportunities that students can find there. So yeah, for everyone who is interested to connect with St. Louis Madrid or learn more about their programs, just uh, get a screenshot of this last slide or just rewatch the webinar. And so before I close, let me just give you all a quick update here. In September, we will be heading to Italy for our Global College Spotlight and feature H-Farm University in Venice. So be sure to visit our website or our YouTube channel where you can explore this and all the past university presentations at any time. And yeah, so it's time to say goodbye. Thank you again, Heidi.
Thank you very much. Adios. Thank you very
Yes.
much.
I really hope you enjoyed today's session, and I look forward to welcoming you back in September for another Global College Spotlight. Take care and goodbye.